Evils of interest. The evils of interest we discuss with these questions: why Islam so much emphasis on the prohibition of interest? Why Islam so much emphasis on the prohibition of interest? We can discuss the evil of interest under this heading: economic importance of prohibition of interest. Economic importance of the prohibition of interest. We can discuss. So, the first evil of interest we discuss under the heading of interest and investments. Interest and investments. Interest and investments, in this heading, we discuss that how interest rates decrease the level of investment, disturb the level of investment in the Western or conventional economics, because interest rates is because mostly interest rates in the traditional society, in the conventional economics, is considered as cost of production. Interest rate, interest payments are considered as interest payments. They are the part of cost of production. Interest payments are the cost of production for the investors. और दूसरी तरफ बेटा जो लोन्स हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल उस्मान 1 लाख लोन लेता है बैंक से. अब उस्मान 1 लाख आफ्टर 1 ईयर उस्मान बैंक को प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट प्लस इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स भी पे करेगा. एंड आफ्टर 1 ईयर Usman will earn profit. Usman will earn profit over the loans. So beta, these loans produce profits and create a cost for production. So the investor compares the benefits of loans and cost of loans. When the benefits of loans, that is marginal efficiency of financial loans. If the marginal efficiency of loans is greater than the interest payment, Usman will continue investment process for the next year. He can get further loans. Usman will stop investments when interest payment, in other words, when cost of production equal to benefit. When both are equal, Usman stop investment. So interest rate, this is the uh, investment process in any economy. Now let's see Islamic society where we can follow Islamic economy, where investment is held on the basis of profit and loss sharing, not interest rate. Interest rate is zero. So in Islamic society, interest rate zero, interest payment zero. So this portion of cost zero. So Usman will earn profit after 1 year over the loan from banks. If earn profits, then this profit will be distributed. This profit will be shared between Usman and bank. If carries loss, in case of negligence, the matter will be different. Otherwise, there are very least chances of loss, but in case of loss will be borne by bank. So in this uh, Islamic environment, investment level will be continued because profit mostly remain positive, benefits, investment benefits are positive, and interest payments are zero. So therefore, in Islamic environment, investment level will be much higher than that level in Western economy. The second evil of interest is discussed under the heading of interest and price. Interest and price. फाइनली बेटा इन्वेस्टर्स बैंक से लोन लेते हैं, बैंक से लोन लेने के बाद इन्वेस्टमेंट कंटिन्यू करते हैं. अब लोन्स पर जो इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स होंगी, दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ कॉस्ट, दे आर द पार्ट ऑफ कॉस्ट. Interest payments are the part of cost, and then the cost determine the price. Then higher interest payments mean higher cost of production, higher price of the product. So finally, consumers will face higher burden of higher prices of the product. So this higher price burden we can see in the manufacturing of cotton cloth. Cotton cloth is manufactured, is produced after or different stages of production, where interest continuously added, where interest payments are continuously added to the price at different stages, like raw cotton, then thread, then raw cloth, then printed cloth, then final cloth, then in all stages, interest payments in the form of cost of production are added to the price level. Then, in Western society, in conventional economics, interest produce higher cost of production. Higher cost of production determine higher prices of the product. So beta, higher interest payments, cost of production, higher prices, हायर प्राइसेस जो हैं बेटा वो कंज्यूमर के लिए एक बर्डन है. तो इंटरेस्ट प्रोड्यूस अ बर्डन. इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट्स अ बर्डन. इंटरेस्ट इज अ बर्डन फॉर द फाइनल कंज्यूमर. so interest exploits, simple words, one sentence बेटा. interest exploits the consumer. Interest exploits the consumer through higher prices, through higher prices. जी बेटा नेक्स्ट आपका हमारा है we discuss evil of interest under the heading of interest and distribution of wealth. Interest and distribution of wealth. Interest causes unequal distribution of wealth in the society. I will say interest causes the great difference among the rich and poor because interest favors rich, discourage poor because the major producers in the Western society, in the normal society, are mostly rich persons. And mostly rich persons are able to borrow from banks, to get loans from banks, from commercial banks. So when they will get loans from banks, then they will pay interest payments. Finally, if they earn profits, if they earn profits, they earn profit at the expense of higher cost of production, that is the burden for final consumer. अब बेटा जो हमारे पास इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, रिच इन्वेस्टर्स, वो तो बेनिफिट्स गेन कर सकते हैं, करते हैं, लेकिन एट द एक्सपेंस ऑफ हायर प्रोडक्शन कास्ट, दैट इज अ बर्डन फॉर फाइनल कंज्यूमर. ये बेटा बात क्लियर होगी. सो इंटरेस्ट causes unequal income distribution in the society. Next, we discuss the next evil of interest is discussed under the heading of trade cycle and interest. In simple words, interest shrinks the capital in the society. Interest shrinks the capital in the society. How? In trade cycle, we find two major part of trade cycle. The first part is boom. When trade activities are in the boom, we say this is a favorable trade and production condition. The second one is drought conditions, when trade is in the slump condition. Slump. Slump means lower condition, lowest condition, top trade conditions and lowest trade conditions. Now, we saw that interest plays a key role in bringing about a slump in the market. Interest plays a key role in bringing about a trough or slump in the market. अब इंटरेस्ट मार्केट में स्लम्प या ट्रफ कैसे लेकर आता है, इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज को बिल्कुल स्लो क्यों कर देता है? रीजन क्या है कि जब ट्रेड अलर्ट कंडीशन में होती है, बूम पे होती है, उस वक्त कमर्शियल बैंक जानते हैं कि अब बिजनेस प्रॉफिटेबल जा रहे हैं, दे इशू लोन, वो लोन कर इशू करते जाते हैं। जैसे स्लम्प कंडीशन आती है, they have to recover loans. They have to recover loans. अब लोन सम टाइम रिकवर नहीं होते बेटा। लोन रिकवर क्यों नहीं होते, इसकी रीजन क्या है? सम टाइम बूम्स टाइम पीरियड में जो प्रोडक्शन होती है, दैट सप्लाई सम टाइम अनएबल टू प्रोड्यूस डिमांड। जब सप्लाई अपनी डिमांड क्रिएट नहीं करती, एज अ रिजल्ट producers are unable to repay. As a result, bank's capital shrinks. Bank capital shrinks because जब रिकवरीज नहीं होगी, बैंक के पास कैपिटल श्रिंक हो जाएगा। श्रिंक होने की रीजन क्या है? ट्रेड साइकिल। और ट्रेड साइकिल्स में इंटरेस्ट plays a key role to brings about a slump in economic activity. Okay, so the next evil of interest is misallocation of resources. Next evil of interest is misallocation of resources. We saw that, we observed that banks, commercial banks, issue loans to the successful investors, to the rich investor, not the poor. As a result, financial capital is allocated to the rich persons. Rich persons earn profits at the expense of high production cost, which is faced by the poor consumers. अब लोन्स रिच को इश्यू हुए, बेनिफिट्स रिच ने गेन्स किए, दे बिल्ट ए हायर लेवल ऑफ कैपिटल। अब रिसोर्सेज सारे के सारे किनको एलोकेट हो गए? रिच को एलोकेट हुए। सो who is the responsible? This misallocation. Interest is the key responsible of this misallocation of resources. So in Islamic society, when interest rate is low, then Islamic society, Islamic banks will encourage the talented and intelligent investors in the form of partnership, in the form of musharaka and mudarba type of investment. So in conventional society, in Western European society, we find interest created the misallocation of resources, as interest in the last part created the unequal distribution of wealth in the society. Okay. The next one is interest. Next evil is interest discourage the business. Discourage the business. The channel is same. Here, interest has bad effects on the economy. Interest has the bad impacts on the people of the economy. Generally, it has adverse effect on private business. The reason is they get loans, they borrow from commercial banks, and now they are under the burden of loans. They are worried about the interest payments after 1 year. Possibly, they may carry loss, they may carry profits, but there are both chances, profit and loss. In case of loss, they are discouraged because they have to repay the principal amounts and interest payment. So in this way, the major part of investment goes to the repayments of principal amount and interest payments. So finally, investors are discouraged because in case of loss, first they have to carry loss. Second, they have to make interest payments to the bank. So in this way, business is shrink in the economy. Private business are discouraged in the economy. So beta, these are the key evils of interest in one economy. So the last one is the international financial crisis. Keeping in view of these points, when domestic investment fails, domestic investment is discouraged by the interest rate, when what what we can find from interest-based loans in the level of in the international level. Therefore, we find internationally we find that IMF supported the developing countries, but in the true form, they are IMF discouraged developing countries. With the passage of time, when the developing countries are unable to repay principal amounts and interest payments, they are under the burden of condition of IMF. Finally, sometime some developing country carry a loss of sovereignty, freedom of their country. So this is the evil of interest, major evil of interest that is globally different countries are facing. A bit of the next one is this is the bit of last evil of interest. The next is I'm going to share screen is the principles of Islamic principles of Islamic banking. We have already discussed about the riba in detail. We have discussed already riba in detail. But simple we will discuss about the Islamic bank. Simply Islamic banking, you can see the screen. Islamic banking means refers to a system of banking activities that is according to the principles of Islamic law. That is according to the principles of Islamic law. Okay, that is a simple Islamic definition of Islamic. Then, Islamic law means Sharia laws, Quranic and Quran the laws retrieved from Quran and Sunnah. The basic point is that Sharia prohibits the payments or acceptance of interest for the lending or accepting of money, respectively, for specific terms. अब शरीयत में जो मना है वो क्या है? इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स करना या इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट रिसीव करना, इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट रिसीव करना या इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट बैंक को देना, in both cases of lending and borrowing, that is haram in Sharia. Similarly, Sharia also prohibits the investment in business that provides goods or services considered contrary to its principle. इसी तरह बेटा ऐसे बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करना भी शरिया ने हराम डिक्लेयर किया है, जो प्रोडक्ट्स जो सर्विसेज हराम है, like gambling, these are haram. तो शरिया ऐसे बिजनेस को भी प्रोहिबिट करती है, प्रोहिबिशन डिक्लेयर करती है, और इसके अलावा इंटरेस्ट भी शरिया में हराम है. दैट इज द की रूल ऑफ शरिया. Then riba, we have already discussed in detail. Then the history of Islamic banking. Simple. This is the history of Islamic banking, very simple in detail is given here. You can read by yourself. You have the knowledge. But we will discuss the modern history of Islamic banking. Modern Islamic banking mean interest-free banking is held on the basis of profit sharing and loss sharing rather than interest. Was firstly found in academic work in the 1940s and 1950s. तो बेटा 1940s में और 1950s में 2 decades में हमें इस्लामिक बैंकिंग यानी इंटरेस्ट फ्री बैंकिंग का लिटरेचर हमें मिलता है. ओके, सो दिस वर्क on interest free banking proposed a banking system based on mudarba, mean profit and loss sharing. Okay. So this work of interest-free banking proposed a banking system that is based on the concept of mudarba, musharka. In other words, that is based on profit and loss sharing. Hopefully, you have understand. Hopefully, you have the lesson. You have gotten the lesson. I think there is no problem. If you have any problem, you can ask a question